Yo, what's up, guys? Mike from Junk 90s back again today. I just bought a collection. We'll say at least like part of one. This guy has a huge ass collection. I'm planning to go back. We're still in contact, but this was, a piece of it that I bought. I'm not going to say exactly what I purchased it for. I'll let y'all, chat about it in the comments, argue about it in the comments. What should I have paid? If I paid certain things, did I overpay? Did I not? Whatever. But had awesome time. Real fun time getting to hang out with a couple people I've gotten to know a little bit over some time spent with them now, and got to spend an afternoon looking over an incredible collection and see some incredible cards and buy some really cool stuff that I've been really wanting to buy. So we'll get to the pickups today. And where do we want to get started? I guess first spot, we'll go to this. They have a ton of wax, and this is one I can't even fit on the screen right now. This is one of the things that I bought. This is gonna be so tough. I had it set up to do singles. I guess not do boxes, but this is a 36 count, 36 wax pack box of 1989 Fleer basketball. This was really cool. They had two of these made out there with both of them. Got two of them. Trying to move these on eBay right now. I think I'll get some nice profit, but like always cool when you can walk in there and, pull out some wax, especially when it's like late 80s basketball. 89 was the point where, the production numbers started to kind of increase. So there's definitely a drop from 88 to 89, but and NBA hoops entered the scene as well in 1989, but like Fleer was still king at the time. There's still tons of collectors for this stuff. This is still a pretty nice set when it comes to, tough to call it vintage basketball by 89, but definitely 80s basketball has tons of collectors. So this was a really cool one to come away from. Don't get the opportunity to buy wax like this all the time. So it was definitely a pleasure to come away with two of these boxes. So really pumped about these. Big purchase for this trip anyway, and fun to have those. So that is part one of the acquisitions. We'll say part two. Man, I was so excited about this. I can't fit them all on screen. I got a 1974. Oh man, I was dreaming about this. I love 70s baseball. I don't want to call it my favorite decade for collecting, but it might be. I think 70s for me is great because I was a 90s kid, and all these guys in the 70s were guys like my dad had told me about, and some of them, their careers extended into the 90s, so I got to see a couple of them, which is really cool. These cards for me are a lot of fun because it's still vintage. It's like getting to be the end of the vintage era. I feel like 74 is around the time when it starts to transition out of the vintage era, because 74 was actually the year, I believe the first year they made complete sets that were available like factory sealed, and is definitely the first year when they stopped doing series. So like every year before that, when you talk about like, oh, they're where are the high numbers, which ones are hard to find, and they're always talking about things being released in 4, 5, 6, 7 series. I had no real concept of what that was because I was collecting the 90s, and they sometimes had a series 1 and a series 2. But they always released a factory set that had both of them, and I never really understood that 1973 and earlier, Topps would release sets. They really would release them a piece at a time, and you could go into a grocery store or a convenience store, whatever they were in the 50s and 60s, and you would buy that series that was available like that month basically. And it really kept things fresh for them. And 1974 was the first year they stopped doing that, and they released the entire set all at once right at the beginning of the season. That said, though, I love 70s baseball. So many golden age Hall of Famers are still in these sets. Like Hank Aaron is still in here, guys. Huge players are in this stuff, like Nolan Ryan, Johnny Bench, Reggie Jackson, all these huge Hall of Famers. It's too bad Willie Mays is in 73, Roberto Clemente is in 73, but you have all these like huge Hall of Famers, and Frank Robinson is in this set. You have huge Hall of Famers in here. So I love 70s because it gives me an opportunity to still play around in the area where you have those golden age Hall of Famers, but I can't afford 60s stuff. 50s don't even get me started. I'd go broke trying to buy that. But I love 70s because it gives me an opportunity to play around in that vintage era, and not go broke or risk the house going after it. So I was so pumped. Oh my God, when I made the purchase on this. Oh, here's a few of the other ones that I sleeved up because they did look pretty nice. But I just Dick Allen right on the top. What a slugger! But this was a pleasure to buy this set. The cards in here are it is a near mint set. This is about as good as you see ungraded. They're not perfect. They're near mint. They have, I can't even get them out with the camera in the way. Excuse me. I'm just gonna pull a few out here and we'll look after them and we'll look at them, and I will put these in here to mark the place. But this is about as good as you see without it being graded in a complete set. I'd say most of this is near mint or better. Some of the cards in here are definitely mint condition. I'm advertising as a near mint set, which is what it is. I'd say the majority of cards are near mint or better. Most fall in that near mint or near mint category, like the 7s and 8s. There are some 9s in here. There's a good amount that are probably EX mint. The one thing, it's probably impossible to tell on the camera right here, but the one thing that I noticed a lot on these cards beyond centering, which is always an issue, these ones for some reason had some really, really rough cuts. It's always like one border on each of these cards, not all of them. I think I hit a spot here. The border is actually really good, but you're also seeing it through the camera, which is not grade level. So these are not most of these are not going to be quite minty, even though they probably look minty from here. They all kind of had like one issue, either like they all had like one issue with like one edge, and then you combine that like with a corner, like here we go, like Georgetown. You can probably see it. And this might even be more like a 6 with that corner, but not a whole lot of grading potential in there. I was hoping for a little bit more grading potential, but I think there's like a couple in there that I can still make a little extra margin on. And this being a gorgeous, like this is about as good as you'll get in a set. If someone else sold you something that was like all 8s and above from this era, I don't care what he asks you for, you pay it. 7s, which is mostly what this is, I think we paid a good price for it. I'll still have room to make a little bit of profit on it. I'm not going to make a killing, of course. On this, it's hard to do that on sets anyway, but the grading potential in here is like adds a nice little bit of margin to what you're doing, but it's certainly not gonna 2x what your purchase. But this Nolan Ryan is nice. I'd love it if it's an 8. I think it's gonna be a 7 or an 8, which is still a nice money card. I don't think it really has. I could have an outside shot at a 9, but I doubt it. It's a nice profit in a 9, but it's a great profit in a 9. 7 or an 8 is a nice profit for this card, and if it hits an 8, I'd be very happy with it. This is the Winfield also sending it in, just a little bit off center, top to bottom. It's right on the line. Like right on the line of being a 7 or an 8. 7's still a profitable card. You really want it to be an 8. I'm going to send it in because it's, it could be like 50-50 on that. But a very clean card, just a little bit off center, top to bottom, which most of these are. Dave Parker, this one was looking so nice. This one's so nice when I pull it out. I was like, oh my God, does it have a shot at a 9? But again, 70s cards, surface is always an issue. And this one just had this like tiny little bit of blistering that's going to prevent it from being a 9. I think a 7 or an 8 is most likely out of this. And here's the Mike Schmidt. This is another one that just looks gorgeous. If you really inspected it closely, you're going to be like, decent shot at an 8, which is a 3-figure card. It's over $100. But what I'm really worried about in this one, you can probably see it here, that little bit right there, that like little bit of, I don't even know what to call it, just like or how to describe it to you without burying, I'm burying the lead now, but it's like this little bit of like extra on the top of the edge. Like I said, a lot of these are very, very rough cuts. This is a rough cut that I'm worried they're going to call a miscut, because that's actually the piece of the card above it, because the cutting was so rough on this one that it actually is like in, a protrusion of the edge. So I don't know how they're going to grade this one. I really hope this thing comes back an 8. There'd be an amazing grade on this one. Would be a nice profit on it, and kind of the thing that I was hoping for with buying this set, because I'm not really going to make a whole lot on the sale of this set itself. Very small margin on the sale of this set itself, but kind of was hoping for a little bit more grading potential in here, but still has some nice potential. I am worried about this Schmidt because of that little bit right there, and that's one of the things that you don't. I'll put my finger behind it so maybe it's easier to see. Yeah, that might be a good view of it, but like that little bit, I think they might call it a miscut. I hope they don't. But that's kind of a risky run. one of the things that can be disappointing, but also extremely exciting when you deal with some vintage baseball cards is that, it can look amazing in hand, and then when you get it home for closer inspection, it's not quite what you want it to be. But man, I love this set. I think my favorite is 70. I mean, my favorite is 75. I think 76 is my number 2, but like, man, 74. Love this year. Love this set. It's gorgeous. So I was ecstatic just to be able to buy a 1974 Topps baseball complete set. Having that opportunity doesn't come along very often. And a gorgeous. It wasn't like low grade. It wasn't mid grade. It was definitely a high grade set. Near mint. You just don't get the opportunity to do that every day. And I was, felt extremely fortunate to have the opportunity to do that. So I was so pumped when this thing came up, and I was like, gotta buy it. I think the price I paid was fair. Would have liked to pay a little less than I did, but I've heard Mike Junkwax Hero, love his channel, talk about, he was afraid of buying collections and falling in love with cards. I bought, a bunch now. It still happens. You still fall in love with stuff. I was in love with this, man. I love 70s baseball. I love it. It's a thing for me. What you gonna do? We all got our things. I still think I got a totally good price for it. I think I'll still be fine. Might even churn a little bit of profit on that grading side. But man, I was so ecstatic when I went in there and bought this. Like once we agreed on a price, I was like, nice. I don't need to buy another thing today. It was a success because I just wanted this one so bad. So sometimes you pay maybe a little more than you should because you fall in love, but whatever. I guess love can cost a little bit. But this one I was so pumped about. So got this 74 set. Hell yeah, hooray for me. Heard enough gushing from me. Let's move on. Bought a lot of Jordan stuff. I can't even say I bought a lot. There was like some Jordan stuff I bought, but I mean they're just like all in here. They had a lot of oddball Jordan stuff, so I just kind of like listed all this. I'm kind of just like taking shots at it and hoping someone buys it. If they don't buy it quick, I'm probably just gonna put it all into like lots, or like in one combined lot, and just try to get my money back on it. It's got a little bit of potential just because you can sort it a little bit differently, but these are all just like oddball Jordans. I don't even know who made some of this stuff. Here's some other, I throw these in there, these like some best of Jordan sets. Mistake I made, I wasn't sure how much this stuff cost. I was getting kind of tired of being there. I didn't want to make comps and everything, and I just thought there were like another 20 Jordan cards in each of these packs. Be careful when you point at, I didn't pay 10 for this, I paid a little bit more. As a group, it would have cost more than $10 the way I paid for it. But when you click and point at stuff and you're like, I'll pay 100, 200, whatever for that circle of stuff there, and you don't inspect it closely, you later find out when you get home that not all of these cards are Michael Jordans. There's Tom Chambers right there. There's only like 3 Jordans in here, so I'll still be fine on this. I think I'll make the margin that I want to make on this. It'll be totally fine, and Jordan moves fast, so definitely a buy that I'm fine with. These cards, especially these like kind of bronze gold-ish starred cards, I don't even know who makes them. I think it's Daytona Manufacturing or something, because they always seem to be talking about gold medal team stuff on their cards. These do all right. You can sell them for $5-10 a piece. So this will make it worth it. The rest of these, I don't know what's going to happen with them. Trying them as lots, I don't expect them to sell as lots, but you give it a shot anyway. And if they don't, it goes into a nice Jordan lot that should be able to at least break even on. So these are also some cool oddball ones too. I don't know who made them. Could be a Daytona, could be Wasatch, could be some other person I've never heard of in my life. But those are pretty cool. Happy about those. Last thing we'll go over. One thing I did already sell that I didn't, because it sold in like a day. That was shocking to me. A partial 1981, 1982 Topps basketball set. The guy wanted to keep the Larry Bird, so I was like, yo, you can keep it, no big deal to me. That one sold very quickly, so I don't have it here to show you guys, but that was a very cool one to sell. And then got a couple of these starting lineup Michael Jordan Kenners. These are very cool. You can try to crack and grade. They're pretty awesome. And this, another one, a Griffey one, because my big bro is a huge Griffey fan. I'm going to be handing this one off to him. So that's it. Tell me what you think. I thought it was a really cool buy. I feel pretty good about it. I think I'll make a little bit of profit on this, a little bit of grading potential, which is cool. Not going to make a killing, but I think, overall, very fun day, a successful day. I'll hit the margins I want. And anytime you get to interact with fun people and really, really cool cards that, you kind of love, always a successful day. So anyway, that's it for today. Let me know if you liked it, and I'll post more. Crystal would call it adventures in card dealing. I don't know if I'm quite at his level yet, but definitely adventurous for me. My adventures in card dealing. So anyway, tell me if you like it, subscribe, whatever you got to do. I'll have more for these for you soon, and I'll let you guys know when I come across more. That's for today, y'all. Mike from Junk 90s. Peace.